You know, there's this one little verse in Exodus 28 that I think says so much about who we are and why we are here. God tells Moses, "Make sacred garments for your brother Aaron to give him dignity and honor." Now, these garments weren't about fashion or wealth. They were covered in gold and gemstones, not to show off, but to reflect the beauty and holiness of God Himself. Now, it's interesting because later in Ezekiel it says that Lucifer once had that same kind of splendor too. Precious stones covered him, and his whole purpose was to reflect the glory of God. But somewhere along the line, he stopped reflecting and started absorbing the glory because he wanted it for himself. Now, that's the tragedy of pride. It turns reflection into self-worship. Now, just think of the many false teachers that might even have massive followings, but ultimately only serve their own bank accounts and own self-image. But Paul tells us to do whatever you do for the glory of God. So, whether you're stepping into a church or just heading off to work or just living out an ordinary Tuesday, your purpose hasn't changed. You were made to reflect God's character in the everyday flow of life. You see, you could say part of the story of the Bible moves from lost reflection in Lucifer's fall to restored reflection in Christ's people. And what that means right now is that every word, every act of kindness, and every prayer you pray, you are turning the spotlight back to Jesus, whose glory you were always meant to mirror. Now, that's a bit of food for thought, and I hope it helps. Please subscribe and help me spread the truth of Jesus Christ. Thank you.